Here is my 1500 orc list. First, I have a battle wagon with 3 rocket launcher, boarding plank, reinforced ram with 5 knobs with power claws, and a war boss with the lucky stick and mega armor. Next, I have some harpoon gun tank busters in a battle wagon with 2 rockets, boarding planks, and reinforced ram. 8 Ludas, 12 orc boys in a truck with reinforced ram and a rocket launcher, and there's a knob with power claw and boss bull. 2 29-man squads of orc boys with a knob with power claw, and 10 Grecian with a run third.
And I'll be playing 1500 points of Dark Eldar with Eldar allies. I have an Archon with an Agonizer, Haywire Grenades, Shadow Field, and Armor of Misery. And he'll be with, and a Shadow Field, no, what are they called? Webway Portal. And then I'll have 3 Scourges there with Haywire Blasters, and 1 with the heat lance. 3 Venoms, all with 5 warriors, a Cyberite with Haywire Grenade and a blaster, 3 Mandrakes, Fire Prism, Ravager with Night Shields, 2 Razor Wings with Night Shields, an Autarch with a Laser Lance and a Fusion Gun, and 3 Jetbikes.
Today we'll be playing Cleanse and Control, just a Maelstrom mission straight out of the book. Here are the objectives. This is Objective 1. This is Objective 2. Objective 3. Objective 4. 5. And 6. We're playing Vanguard Deployment. And we're going to roll first to see who picks what side. And I got a 6 and he got a 1. So I'm going to pick this corner right here. And let's roll to see who goes first. And we both got 1s. And I got a 6.
And a 6.
Oh, and a 6. It's going to be a close game.
Okay.
And he goes first.
I will
if
let
he
you go
wants
first. You go first.
Okay, I'm going first. We'll be back with the deployment. Here is my orc deployment. Just kind of a cluster cuss over there. Got my knobs on the side there, tank busters in the middle, a bunch of boys in between, and my truck on the side, and Ludas hiding out right in this building there. And for the Dark Eldar deployment, there's not a whole lot on the table. We have a Ravager and a Fire Prism, and the rest is in reserves there. For my reserves, I have the just some Grecian over there, just to walk on and grab objectives. And that is it. Would you like to seize the initiative?
Yes. And rerolling with Labyrinth Cunning. No.
No. So, Orc first turn.
And
For the Orcs, I drew my first 3 Maelstrom objectives. My first one is hold objective 4. And my second one is also hold objective 4. And my last one is score a victory point if an enemy unit was completely destroyed during my turn. Objective 4 is all the way over there, so I might have a hard time with that one. The Dark Eldar also had some infiltrators, a few mandrakes hiding right beside this ruin, all the way over from the Orks over there. For the Orcs movement phase, I'm just moving up here towards the Fire Prism, Bunch of boys just slogging through the terrain really slowly. Got a 4-inch move with these guys and a 2-inch move with that guy. Ludas stayed put. The tank busters moved up into that building. And the knobs are just moving up the flank just to keep all my options open. And that is the end of my movement phase. On to shooting. At the end of the orc shooting phase, no shooting happened, just lots of running. These squads both ran 6. This battle wagon, flat out 6 inches. This one moved up slightly. The truck, flat out at 18, just to get really close there. And the Ludas were out of range of everything, so they just stayed put. That's the end of Orc Turn 1. The Dark Eldar objectives are score Objective 1, which is way over there in the corner. Destroy an enemy unit in the assault phase, and destroy a non-vehicle enemy unit in the assault phase. Now on to their movement phase. Dark Eldar movement phase, not a lot has happened. They're just camping out there waiting for reserves. The Mandrakes moved up a little bit, and that is the end of their movement phase. Now on to shooting. The end of the Dark Eldar shooting phase, nothing happened except one glance on the truck there. The Ravager went to shoot and missed all 3 of its shots, and the Fire Prism rolled a 1 to glance. And that is the end of the Dark Eldar shooting phase. End of the Dark Eldar assault phase, the Mandrakes got into combat with the truck, managed to strip 1 more hull point off of it, but not enough to take it down. And that is the end of the Dark Eldar turn, and end of game turn 1. Tied 0-0 for victory points. End of the Orc movement phase. These guys are getting ready to assault the Ravager. Tank busters over there getting ready to assault the Fire Prism. Everybody else has just moved up a bit, kind of got in position. This battle wagon with the knobs is ready to take Objective 4 for me. And the Ludas are staying put in the back. My Gretchen came in from reserves and are sitting nicely snug up against Objective 6. That is the end of my movement phase. On to shooting. End of the Orc shooting phase, all I did was strip 1 hull point off the Fire Prism, and that's about it. Now on to Orc assault phase. At the end of Orc turn 2, these guys just destroyed the Ravager there. My tank busters smoked the Fire Prism, and then blew up, and 7 of them died in the explosion, and now they failed their morale check and are running away. And everything else just stayed put because they weren't able to assault. And my 3 objectives, score Objective 4, I got that one, which was 2 of my points, and then get a victory point for completely destroying 1 enemy unit, which I did here and here. That's the end of Orc turn 2. Now on to Dark Eldar. Dark Eldar got the Kingslayer objectives, so they have to kill my Warlord. And now on to his reserve rolls. He has a 3-up re-rollable reserve roll because of his Warlord trait. If he doesn't get anything in, it's looking grim for the Dark Eldar.
Outark coming in by himself. Reroll. He's in.
He's in.
3-man jet bike. Reroll. They're in. Got 3 Venoms, all the same. All 3 in.
Ooh.
2 Razor Wings are in. And Scourges. Alright, so 3 Venoms deep striking and Scourges deep striking as well.
The end of the Dark Eldar's movement phase. A lot of stuff deep struck in and came in from reserves. The Venom's scattered, so they're not exactly where he wants them to be, but there's 2 there. One of his flyers is there. The Scourges are there. The Outark is right there. His Mandrakes moved up a little bit to assault this vehicle again. And The Eldar jet bikes are hiding over there. And the last Venom is right over there. Scattered a little bit too close to the Ludus, but it didn't mishap and is able to shoot at them this turn. The end of Dark Eldar's shooting phase, they did a lot of damage, almost killing my war boss and killing one of the knobs and almost killing a second in that squad. The flyer shot all of its missiles down at this orc squad, and now there's not very many left. They luckily passed their mob rule check, and they're staying there. A few Ludas died here, and they fell back, just inches short of running off the table there. And that is it for their shooting phase. At the end of Dark Eldar assault phase, the Mandrakes were able to strip the last hull point off the truck there, killing it. He got 2 of his objectives, scoring objective 1 over there with the jet bikes, and killing a unit in the assault phase over here with the Mandrakes. That brings the score to 4-2 for the Orks. Now on to turn 3. So at the end of the Orcs movement phase, a few of the boys moved up here just to take care of those Mandrakes. My Ludas over there regrouped and are just chilling at that building. A few of the Orcs are going back there to fight off that Venom. This squad is kind of moving up this flank, up the center there, to try and get at those Venoms. The War Boss and his unit, they separated off from each other and are planning to assault these 2 units. And my tank busters, they regrouped and are just kind of slowly trying to get their way back in the fight. And my other battle wagon here just kind of moved up and is going to take some pot shots at a flyer. Now on to their shooting phase. The end of the orc shooting phase, a few units just ran up because I declared a WOG this turn. Getting closer for the assault. The Ludus fired up at the flyer there. Managed to get 1 hit, but he was able to jink it. The War Boss and his unit are getting closer to the assault there. And these guys just ran up a bit to get close to the Mandrakes to assault them. And this battle wagon shot up at the flyer, didn't hit at all, and that was the end of my shooting phase. At the end of the Orc turn 3, the knobs here destroyed the Autarch. This slap fight, nothing happened at all. Over here, the Orc boys destroyed that Venom, and the guys poured out of it, and now they can only make snapshots because they failed the leadership check. These Orc boys over here assaulted the Mandrakes and killed them. And these guys attempted to make a long charge at this Venom here, but failed. And that is the end of Orc turn 3. I scored no victory points that turn. And we'll go on to Dark Eldar. It's the end of the Dark Eldar movement phase. The Wind Rider jet bikes moved up off this objective. The 2 Venoms shifted over just to get better line of sight at the Orc boys there. And the 2 Flyers flew off the table back into ongoing reserves. And the Scourges and these guys are just locked in combat, so nothing happened there. Now, on to the shooting phase. It is now the end of the Dark Eldar shooting phase on turn 3. They managed to pick off about half the squad there, doing some major damage on that Orc unit. These jet bikes just turbo boosted away. These guys did some snap shooting, but nothing happened. And that is the end of their shooting phase. Now on to the assault with the War Boss. Let's see what happens. Tyson, let's roll some dice.
Okay. So, 5 attacks from the Archon.
Okay.
3s to hit.
That's a lot of hits.
And 4s to wound. No wounds.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Or not. Now, The Scourges get to hit him. Let's see what they do.
5 attacks, hitting on 4s. 4 hits.
Ooh.
And wounding on 5s. 2 wounds.
Oh no. Okay. Here's my 2-up rerollable armor save coming at ya. He only has 1 wound, so if he dies here, it's kind of a crippling blow. No. I rolled a 10. He's good. And I get to attack back. 4 attacks. I got 1 hit. I'm going to reroll 2 of them with the lucky stick. Failed both those rerolls. Well, that kind of sucks. Now to wound. 1 wound. Will he pass his save?
2 up, Shadowfield. And he goes.
And he's fine. The slap fight continues. End of turn 4 orc movement phase. The boys from over there jumped into this battle wagon, moving up just to close the distance. These knobs are preparing to assault a venom. These guys are going to try and make another long charge into this venom. These boys over here shifted around to surround these warriors. And the Ludas here just moved up to get clear line of sight at the jet bikes there. And my war boss is still stuck in combat. Now, on to the shooting phase. The end of the orc shooting phase on turn 4. I killed 1 jet bike here with firing from the Ludas with snapshots. And I was able to kill 1 warrior here with just some orc shooting. That is the end of my shooting phase. Now on to assaults. So in my assault phase, I was able to kill the squad of warriors there. The venom here. Didn't make the charge here. And now on to the slap fight. What will happen?
Archon, 5 attacks. 4 hits.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Forced to wound. 2.
2 wounds. Okay, so I got 2 up save. Oh, re-rolling. Makes it just nick of time. And on to the Scourges.
5 attacks, hitting on 4s. Cocked. Wounding on 6s. Nothing.
Okay, now I gotta attack back. 4 attacks in this crazy challenge. No hits. I will reroll 2 of them with the lucky stick. 1 hit. 1 wound.
Shadowfield save. Oh, he's done.
And he didn't make it. He didn't make it.
Second save of the game.
And now, their flank has collapsed. I've gotten Slay the Warlord, and my war boss can wreak havoc on the Scourges. Dun dun dun. The end of turn 4 Dark Eldar movement phase. Flyers have come back on. This guy's gonna launch some missiles into this tight little cluster cuss of orc boys over there. This flyer is coming on to blast this battle wagon off the face of the planet. The venom and scourges and whatever else is left is gonna try and strip that last wound off my war boss. It's looking like a pretty close game so far, with a score of 5-2. 5-2. But my objectives are pretty hard to get right now, and he might get some of his now. So we'll see what happens in the shooting phase. At the end of the Dark Eldar turn 4 shooting phase, my war boss lives. After going to ground to an AP2 shot, he rolled a 6 and passed his save, denying him Slay the Warlord for another turn. A few of my knobs died here from shooting of venoms and jet bikes and bears, oh my. And this entire boy squad was wiped out except the last two standing over there. They passed morale and are ready to punch some Umis. And that is the end of Dark Eldar shooting phase. Now on to the assault. At the Dark Eldar assault phase, he made the mistake of assaulting this Orc Knob. He would not fail a single 4-up save, and managed to rip a jet bike in half in the combat. Now he's locked in combat with 3 warriors and a jet bike, which will soon also perish. This is the end of turn 4. Score is still... Did you score any of your points yet?
No points.
5-2. It's looking still pretty close if you can kill my warlord. But there's still possibly 3 more turns to go. We shall see. Now, to Orc, turn 5. End of Orc movement phase. The boys here moved up, disembarked to try and handle some of these scourges, because they're a scourge to my war boss. Badumts. And these guys are moving up to see if they can take some shots at the flyer and blow that out of the sky. My tank busters, which I finally remembered to do something with, moved up and are going to take some pot shots at that flyer. And that's about it. Now on to shooting phase. At the end of the Orc shooting phase, absolutely nothing happened. That is all. Assault phase. At the end of the Orc assault phase, these boys were able to wipe out the scourges completely, and I was able to kind of consolidate them back around to bubble wrap my war boss to give him a cover save to prevent him from dying, maybe a little bit longer. This combat here with the knob, he ended up killing one of the warriors, causing them to break, and the jet bike and the Dark Eldar warriors there are falling back slowly towards the edge. And that's about it. I was able to score 2 more victory points from Maelstrom, which brings it 7-2 at the end of my turn 5. Now on to Dark Eldar turn 5. Dark Eldar movement phase. One of the flyers went off the table. This one's moving closer. The Venom found a sneaky little spot where I won't get cover there. And the jet bike regrouped, moved 3 inches to hide a little bit, as did the warriors wherever they went.
Inside the building.
Oh, inside the building there. That's the end of their movement phase. On to shooting. Let's see if my war boss survives. He's gonna go to ground.
Blaster on the 3-up.
This is the AP2 weapon.
Hits.
Hits. Wounds on a 2.
A wound.
Oh.
6-up cover.
Got a 6-up cover save here.
Do it again.
No. Got a 2. Reroll. No. My war boss is dead. The end of the Dark Eldar turn, he was able to kill a couple more Orc boys there, and that's about it. Now to see if the game continues. It is right now 7. Oh, if the game ends right now, it's 8-6 for the Orcs, because I'd have Line Breaker.
It ends.
It's over.
Good game.
Left hand shake. Good game.
There we go.
It's close. He came back in it with that Warlord kill, which gave him 4 victory points because of the Maelstrom card, rolling a 6 on it. And brought it pretty close to being a really tight game at the end. It was a good game. Well fought. That is all.